the dot. So we are ready to get going right now. So the way that I want to get started today is I want you to come down onto your back, flat down onto your yoga mat. We're going to get started with a very low impact stretch and a very waking up of the body physically, waking up of the mind mentally. We're going to get ourselves grounded to the earth before we get anything high intensity done today. I want to focus on just getting grounded, stretching out the body a little bit. So we're going to come down flat onto our backs, and I want you to hug your knees up to your chest here. So just applying a little bit of pressure onto the knees. I don't want any tension through the back of the neck. So what I want you to think about doing is just one time bringing the chin up to the chest, and then try to lengthen the back of the neck as you slowly just let your head reach down towards the ground. So it's almost like you're trying to hold an apple between your chin and your chest while the back of your head is down on the mat. So there's no tension through the back of that neck, the high back, the shoulders. And we just get grounded down to this yoga mat to start. Taking about 3 to 5 breaths in this position here. My knees aren't too wide or too close together. But in me saying that, I don't want you to change the position of your legs at all. However you were holding them, just continue to hold them that way. And then after that third or fourth or fifth breath, wherever you're at right now, I want you to allow both legs to just fall down to the ground. So my feet are down flat on my yoga mat. My knees are bent about 90 degrees. And I want to just field goal my arms, still laying down flat on my back. The back of my hands come down to that ground or close to it. And what I want to do with my legs right now is windshield washer, get a stretch in with those hips by letting both knees collapse down to the left side of my yoga mat, and then come back up through center and down to the right side of that yoga mat. So that windshield wiper motion where I come back through center and then back down to that left side, back to that right side, back and forth we go. And in doing that, you feel that little bit of a stretch through those hips, maybe through those quads, but the back is flat down on the ground. We're not looking for any stretch through that spine at this point. But if just this position of the upper body, the field goaling of the arms, the palms facing up, it's giving you any kind of stretch through the pecs or the shoulders. It's telling you that you're super tight through that upper body, through the shoulders, through the pecs. So that's something that we're going to focus on a little bit today as well. And that's maybe a selfish reason, but because I'm feeling tight through those shoulders, tight through the pecs, it's almost just a natural way that the body comes when we're all focused on leaning forward throughout most of the day, that our shoulders and our neck and our back become more tight. So now what I want to do is I want to bring my knees back up to my chest, and I want to take 3 more breaths, but just try to pay attention to whether you had your knees wide that first time to bring them a little bit closer this second time. Or if you had them close that first time, I want you to bring them just a little bit wider this second time. And find that nice stillness once again, just applying that gentle pressure to the knees, to the shins almost, will give us that good stretch through the hamstrings, maybe a little bit of the glutes as well. But that stillness is what we're looking for in one version of our stretch. And then our movement, we went to that windshield wiper stretch to start. Now I want both feet flat down on the ground again, but I want to come through just a straight leg hamstring swing. So my left leg is out straight, and I swing that leg up towards the sky, and then I allow the heel to come down to the ground. Looking for just a range of motion here. So I'm not looking to get any effort out of this. I'm not looking to get exhaustion out of this. What I'm looking to get is just a little bit of stretch through this hamstring on this left side, and that range of motion is what we're focused on. So as high up as I come on that first rep is at least how high I want to come on every rep thereafter. But if your hamstring starts to loosen up a little bit more, then you're able to come up just a little bit higher. Right around 12 reps, which is where I'm at right now, is when I'm going to switch sides. So that right leg is going to come up towards the sky and then down to the ground. Heel down to the ground, up as high as that hamstring allows you to go, shaking some movement into these legs a little bit to get ourselves active and ready for the workout that we're going to get today. So I sent out an email to you guys that got it beforehand that kind of gave an outline to this workout where we're going to get a good stretch in, some yoga, some body weight stuff, and then into some full body strength. That's good right there. Feet are flat, knees are bent. I want to come through some double leg bridges now where I bridge my hips up off the ground. My hips come up nice and high, and then I come back down and lightly touch my butt down to that yoga mat. My inhale is when my butt is down to the ground. My exhale is as I drive that hip thrust up towards the ceiling here in my room. And again, for range of motion purpose, as high up as you come on that first rep is at least how high you come on each rep after that. So I want you to think about coming up maybe just a little bit higher with each rep that you come through, and maybe you're holding that rep just a little bit longer with each rep that you come through. So we're only looking for about 10 reps here. And what we're doing now is we're strengthening the backside of the lower body. So the glutes, the hamstrings are getting the strengthening portion of this movement. But the higher up we come with the hips, that's opening up the front side of that lower body. So those hips, those hip flexors, maybe even the quads, if they're super tight, are getting opened the higher we come up. Now, for the next 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to alternate between a leg strengthening movement like we just did with that double leg bridge to a core strengthening movement, which we're going to start off with is a flat back lower ab crunch. So my knees stay bent at 90 degrees like they have been. My back stays flat down on my yoga mat. I crisscross my arms right here so that my elbows are up facing towards the ceiling. My upper body doesn't move at all, while my knees come up towards my elbows to the top of this movement here. My knees are bent at 90 degrees to take any pressure off of my lower back that might happen whenever we do some ab exercises throughout the rest of this day, the rest of this workout, or throughout any workout that we come through in the future. So if that does happen, so if we're doing flutter kicks or leg raises later in the workout and you're starting to feel it more in the lower back than you are in the abs, resort back to this movement right here. 12 to 15 reps is what we look for here. When you get there, allow those feet to come back down to that yoga mat, back down to the earth. And we started off with double leg bridges. Now we're going to go to a single leg cross leg bridge where I cross my left ankle over my right knee and I drive my hips up off the ground. Hold it for a full exhale, then come down for your inhale. Lightly touch the butt to the ground and then come right back up. So now with this movement, my left ankle is crossed over my right knee. The strength portion of this movement is coming by way of this right side, this right glute, this right high hamstring is what's driving the hips up towards the sky, driving that lower body off the ground. The left side, if you're super tight through that hip flexor, you might be feeling a stretch the entire time like I am. So again, that's something that I'm going to take note of. And it's something that, again, selfishly, I'm going to base on some of our yoga flow that we come through. But if you're anything like me, which chances are you are, if you found yourself here in this moment, good, switch sides, cross that right ankle over that left knee. Same thing, slow moving single leg bridge, bridging the hips up off the ground, coming down to the ground and then back up each time. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. But if you're anything like me and those hips are tight, then yoga is such a good tool to use to help us out with that. Now, again, like anything in life, not everything can be fixed in one workout, in one 45-minute virtual session, no matter how good it is. But it's something that we want to take into our everyday routine. So take something that you're feeling good for in this routine and incorporate it into something that you do every day. And the beauty of it all is if it doesn't work for you at all, that's okay. This is 45 minutes out of your day. Even a crappy workout is better than no workout at all. So just take what works for you, leave behind the rest, but come through every exercise that we come through. This time, my knees are bent, my feet are off the ground, and now my legs don't move at all. My fingertips are right around my ears. I want to allow my elbows to come down to the ground at the bottom of this movement. I want to crunch and exhale my forehead up towards the ceiling at the top of this movement. So this is a flat back upper ab crunch where we come through just a little bit quicker than we did with that lower ab crunch, looking for about 15 to 20 reps. We come up and down with a purpose. And again, that breathing comes into play where we want to exhale on the way up, a slight little inhale on the way down, 15 to 20 reps, maybe more than that. And then we want to come back to one more variation of that bridge where we really focus on strengthening these hamstrings. And it's a slow movement to start us off here today, but you're probably getting that heart rate up a little bit already if you've done everything with the time and the pace that I've done. So now my left leg is out straight and it's up towards the ceiling, almost so my quads line up with each other. Now what I want to do is I want to bridge my hips up off the ground once again, hold it at the top of this movement, then inhale, come down, lightly touch that butt to the ground and come right back up. Again, we hold it for that split second at the top so that the reps might come down a little bit. We might not be getting those 12 to 15 or greater reps here. Well, it's more realistic that we're only getting about 8 to 10. And again, like anything else, what doesn't work for you, you could slow stuff down, you could speed stuff up. You want to modify to make things easier for you to do. You want to modify to make things tougher for you to do throughout each workout, depending on how your body feels. Good, switch sides, same, 8 to 10 reps on that other side. My right leg is out straight, my left knee is bent. I drive these hips up off the ground, so all that strength comes from this left side, that left hamstring, that left glute. 8 to 10 reps is what we're looking for. And then we got that third variation of our core strengthening. We go leg strengthening with the variations of the bridge, the core strengthening with the variation of the flat back crunch. So we put together those last two movements. My knees are bent. My elbows meet my knees over my midsection. My elbows and heels touch the ground at the same time. We flow through this with a similar pace that we had with that last round of that core work, where we look for about 15 to 20 reps. That flat back crunch is where we're at. We're finishing up this flat back warm up here with a couple more reps. And then we're going to make our way over to a child's pose for the first time. That is good right there. At any time that you need to grab a drink of water, to take a second off, take a deep breath, feel free to do it. This portion of that workout is still not too fast moving. We want to take our time through it, but we will start to flow through this yoga flow that we come through, this sun salutation A, sun salutation B, and variations of it a little bit faster as we do. But to start off, it is a slow and controlled flow where I want to stay in every position that we come through for at least 3 breaths. So we are starting off in a child's pose where the forehead or the crown of the head comes down to the mat. My arms are extended out in front of me. My palms are flat down on the yoga mat. My knees are wide out to the outsides of my yoga mat while my big toes are together, so that my knees are wide and it allows my hips to sink back, my butt to almost come down to my heels. That should be our 3rd or 4th or maybe 5th breath right there. So on my next inhale, I want to exhale and flow forward through a baby upward facing dog. I call it a baby upward facing dog because my knees are still on the yoga mat. So it should be a little bit comfortable for us to try to lengthen the upper body. My hips through my shoulders are nice and long. Think about that. My hips are trying to drop down to the mat while my elbows turn towards each other by the rib cage. Same thing, we did about 3 to 5 breaths in that child's pose. We want to be 3 to 5 breaths in this upward facing dog. A good time to start to practice some gratitude, some self-gratitude, or some positive self-talk. You start to thank yourself for showing up to a workout when it could have been easy for you to skip it, to go right on to the next thing, to go right to that fast food drive-through on the way home, right to bed, right to that binge-worthy Netflix show that you're watching. Inhale in this upward-facing dog, and let's push back to a downward-facing dog for the first time here. Again, like that child's pose and that upward-facing dog, I want to stay in this position for 3 to 5 breaths, focusing on my breathing while I'm here, but finding that stillness and continuing that thought of gratitude, that self-gratitude, that thank you for coming, thank me for coming. The version of yourself that's here right now is much better than that version of yourself that decided to skip this workout or not get any movement in today. So let's capitalize on this gratitude, on this positivity throughout the remainder of this workout. From this downward facing dog, I want to take as many steps as I can, inching my feet up towards my hands until I land into a ragdoll stretch. So the first time that we're here, I'm going to crisscross my arms. My fingertips are by my elbows. My whole upper body is completely hinged over my lower body, letting any negative tension come out of the crown of my head. Thinking about how that lower body feels here, maybe swaying side to side a little bit to see how that left side, that left hamstring compared to that right hamstring. Then find that stillness once again. Release the arms, let those hands, those fingers just come down to that yoga mat. Inhale, come halfway up so your hands are on your knees. This is our flat back position here. Every position that we come through this first time is slow. We're spending 3 to 5 breaths in each position so that you could really focus on what the purpose of that position is. Right now, a good cue that a lot of people forget about is this isn't just a lower body focus position. Think about engaging right through the spine, right from the tailbone, all through the spine, through the back of that neck, and tucking that chin towards that chest once again. Activating the shoulder blades. Release down towards the ground before rolling up one vertebrae at a time to a standing position for the first time and bringing our hands to heart center here, almost rolling the shoulders down the back. Now we're ready to start flowing a little bit quicker, all right? Let's release the hands, turning the palms so that they're facing forward here. Shake anything out of the body that you need to before finding that stillness, taking a deep breath while we're here, mountain posture. And then our inhale brings us up, and I want to come to a baby back bend at the top of this movement here. So my palms are facing forward. It's a powerful pose. Really think about that while you're here. Inhale, exhale, root to reach. We reach way up towards the ceiling. We get tall from our hips right through our fingertips here. Inhale, exhale, cut the body in half, sweep the feet and come to a flat back. Remember how long we stayed here that last time? We're only here for a breath this time, but the purpose is still there. Inhale, exhale, step back to a high plank, and let's hold that high plank here. Starting to build some heat through the body from some core strength in this high plank. Building some heat through the body, even though it's a still position. The plank, why it's called a plank, is because we want to be flat as a board through the hips, flat as a board through the back, and stiff as a board through the midsection, but also through the glutes and the hamstrings. Inhale, exhale from this high plank. We shift forward slightly before slowly dropping down all the way to the yoga mat and coming back to a child's pose. Just one breath in this child's pose. And this is the last time that we're going to see child's pose as a group. But the child's pose is always here if and when you need to take it. As we start to flow through a little bit faster here, you might need to take it more, and that's okay. But every time that you take it, take a deep breath, still practice that gratitude, and then get back to joining us. From this child's pose, inhale, exhale, flow forward to that baby upward facing dog. Inhale here, exhale, push back to that downward facing dog. Really try to shift the body weight back towards the legs. Our legs are stronger than our arms, right? So let's shift that body weight here so that the downward facing dog stays comfortable. Inhale, exhale, we could bend the knees a ton and then walk, step, or float the feet up towards the hands before making our way to that flat back once again. Inhale in that flat back position. Exhale as we drop down towards the mat and come all the way up and right to that baby back bend at the top. Starting to flow now. Inhale, exhale, root to reach. Sweep those feet. Step or jump back to that high plank. Hold that high plank. Inhale, exhale, shift forward, drop down, come up through that upward facing dog, keeping the knees off the mat if you can this time. Inhale, exhale, push back to that downward facing dog. On that next inhale and exhale, we bend the knees, walk, step, or float those feet up towards the hands. Flat back, fold forward, all the way up and open. Last time through that variation there. Inhale, exhale, root to reach. Sweep the feet, flat back. Step back to a high plank or jump back to that high plank. From here, I want to shift my body weight over to my right hand, and I want to pale that top left hand open nice and high to the sky. It's a high plank. It's a side plank. I'm feeling it in my right oblique because my hips are up as high as I can get them to stay. Use that cue right there. Get those hips up a little bit higher. Inhale, exhale, drop that left hand down, shift that body weight over to that left hand, ground that left palm into the ground, into the earth, peel that top right hand open. Bring those hips up a little bit higher, feel that left oblique. Drop that right hand down. Inhale in our high plank. Exhale, shift forward, chaturanga, high to low, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, let's raise our left leg up. And from here, let's peel that left hip open and try to stay here. Stacking those hips. Dropping that left foot down, same thing on that right side. That right foot comes off the ground straight up first and then peels open. Stacking the hips once again on this side now. Feeling how open that top right hip feels. Drop that right foot down, bend the knees, walk, step, or float those feet up to those hands, coming into that flat back. Drop down, all the way up, and open at the top. It's that baby back bend. Inhale, exhale, root to reach, sweep those feet, flat back. Step or jump back to that high plank. Right away, we twist open to that left side. Hips are high. Left hand down, twisting towards that right side. That right hand opens. That right shoulder opens. Feeling that stretch to that right pec, but feeling that bottom left oblique more than anything. Right hand comes down, chaturanga, high to low, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Raise your left leg up towards the sky, peel it open. Let's step that left foot to the left hand for the first time of warrior one. Coming up, that left foot is forward, that left knee is bent, that back right leg is straight, and that back right foot is flat down on the ground. Arms are up straight. Inhale, exhale, bring those hands down, push back to that downward facing dog. Raise that right leg up and peel it open. Step that right foot to the right hand, warrior one on this side here. Sink down deep into it as you get here. That back left leg is straight. That back left foot is flat down onto the ground. The knife edge of that foot is there as well. Hands down, push back to that downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk, step, or float those feet up to the hands. Flat back, fold forward, up and open. Inhale, exhale, root to reach. Sweep those feet. One more time through this. Step or jump back to that high plank. Twist towards that left side. Open it up. Bring that left hand down. Twist towards that right side. Raise those hips. Bring that right hand down. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, but let's have our feet together this time. My feet are together towards the back of that yoga mat in this downward facing dog. My left leg comes up and peels open. My left foot steps between the hands for warrior two down the center of my yoga mat. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Arms are parallel with each other. I'm looking right over those front two left knuckles here, but not forgetting about that back right hand. Inhale here, come to an extended side angle, bringing that left forearm to that left quad while reaching that right arm forward. Exaggerate that reach with that right side so that you feel the stretch through this right hip, right through those right fingertips. Without changing the bend in the knees at all, reverse this warrior. Bring that left arm up towards the sky. That right hand slides down back that right leg. And now we cartwheel the hands down. Push back to a downward facing dog. Make sure the feet are together and back. Raise that right leg up and peel it open. Step that right foot between the hands. Warrior two on this side here. Arms are up in parallel. Come to that extended side angle on this right side. So the right forearm is on that front right quad, while that exaggerated reach with that left side is where we try to get the left side of our body as long as it could ever be, from the fingertips right through that hip all the way down to the knife edge of that left foot. Reverse that warrior, bring that right arm up. And now cartwheel those hands down, push back to a downward facing dog, land down onto the hands and the knees, and feel free to grab a drink right now. Recovery is a skill that the more we practice it, the better we get at it. And your recovery is going on right now. So focusing on that breathing, focusing on what's going well so far, looking to capitalize on that while introducing something new. So we got some strength work coming up next. We got 20 minutes of work left, and it's all strength work. And if you were here for our Monday workout, it's going to be similar stuff where it's circuit-based work, but there's only 3 exercises to every circuit that we come through. The first one is going to come by way of that all-American exercise that my father likes to call it, by way of the push-ups. So let's make our way down to our hands and our knees, maybe that tabletop position to start. There's no timer here for this circuit. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to get 12 to 15 reps of each movement. First set, we'll have plenty of time for recovery. Second and third sets, we flow through a little bit faster, all right? Push-ups. I don't care how you do them, but I want your first set to be as good as that last set, and I want them to stay very similar to each other. Guys, come on, get out of there. So if you're doing your push-ups from your knees, that's fine. But what I want to see is almost a high plank from the knees, all right? So your hips aren't too high or too low. From here, you come down to the ground, trying to keep your hips in line with your shoulders as you come back up. Still getting a good version of a push-up in there. We are ready to work. Ready. 12 to 15 reps, push-ups. We start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Keeping track of your count. 12 to 15 reps is what we are looking for. When you get there, you could land into a child's pose. That could be start of our recovery. Like I said, it's that skill that the more we practice it, the better we'll get at it. So land into that child's pose. Inhale in that child's pose. Exhale, flow forward to that baby upward facing dog. Coming back through some of that yoga that we started with as recovery. Making your way up to standing now and coming towards the front of your yoga mat. Body weight or loaded reverse lunges coming up here. Feet are wide. Feet are parallel with the hips or even wider. It's a big step back with that right foot, landing onto the ball of that right foot, and then pulling yourself forward, alternating lunge so we come to the other side right after. Trying not to shift that body weight from side to side too much, keeping the upper body perpendicular to the ground. It's an alternating lunge. I got eyes on our clock for this one, where it's going to be 30 seconds. So I don't want you to try to get too many reps in. I don't want you to try to come through 16 reps flying back and forth. I want you to slow it down and really think about the purpose of this movement. Time, that's good right there. Grabbing our dumbbells, if you didn't use them for the reverse lunges, standing bicep curls is our third and final exercise of this circuit. 15 reps, feet shoulder width apart, core engaged, ready, set, let's go. "15 reps is what we're looking for. When you get to 15, again, your own pace to your count, I want you to come back to that child's pose. That child's pose is where we finish this first circuit and we earn the right to get a deep breath as we get there. Child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, sink down deep into it. Inhale, exhale, flow forward to that baby upward facing dog. From here, ready for the start of that second set. Push-ups, 12 to 15 reps. Form as good as that first set. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Down and up we go. All the way down, all the way up if we can. Form, focus, find failure, and then come back through. Get a couple more reps when you can. Child's pose, you earn that recovery. Breathing in that child's pose. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Flow forward to that baby upward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, push back to a downward facing dog just to remember what that feels like. Shift that body weight back towards the heels. Taking 8 to 10 steps. Walking the feet up towards the hands. Coming up to standing. Reverse lunges. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 30 seconds of it. Mountain posture if you don't have any weights in your hands. Dumbbells by the hips if you do. Here, so that you could still roll those shoulders down the back and bring the purpose to this movement. The purpose of this movement is that front leg is what I want you to be thinking about. It's pulling you up to standing. That front leg is pulling you up. That back foot is on the ball of the foot so that that quad also engages. You're getting both sides at the same time with this movement. Time for those curls. Set number 2, ready, set. Let's go. Tail end of that second set here. 15 reps. Purpose of this movement is strengthening that bicep, right? So if you feel yourself hinging at the hips and throwing those weights up, go lighter, even if that means grabbing a single dumbbell if you need to. But 15 reps is our goal. Our form is our focus. On 15, we are down and ready. Set number 3, 15 reps. Ready, set, let's go. Like I said, we moved through this set a little bit faster. As soon as you're at 15 reps, we are up to standing. Reverse lunges, 30 seconds of them, off and running already. Coming through quicker, but you slow down if and when you need to. We slow down through our third set to focus on our form when we need to. The recovery between movements is shorter, but the focus on our form is more important now as we get tired. Time. Third and final set of those curls. 15 reps, 2, 1, let's go. On 15, you let those weights down. Grab a quick drink if you need it. Our next circuit is coming up. First circuit was chest, legs, biceps. Next circuit is back, triceps, and core. Back, triceps, and core. Our back is gonna come by way of bent over, super supported, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, hinging at my hips, bringing my chest down towards my quads, driving my elbows straight up and down for bent over rows. And again, 12 to 15 reps. Let's start there together. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Ready, set, let's go. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as those elbows drive up. "12 to 15 reps here, right in control the whole time, making our way down onto our backs for the first time here. Our tricep strengthening movement is gonna come by way of skull crushers, where my back comes down flat on the ground. If I'm using 2 dumbbells, the flat parts of the dumbbells come together, and I shift my upper arms so that they come up over my head slightly, hinging at my elbows, and then extending my weight straight up towards the ceiling. Hinge and extension keeps that focus on our triceps. We are already started if you haven't already. Again, 12 to 15 reps while bringing that focus to our tricep. 12 to 15 reps, squeezing every time those weights come up. Let those weights down out of the way gently. Hands come under the butt. 90-degree flutter kicks, one leg out, one leg up, and they alternate. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 90 degrees between them. That means they're as far as they can go. As my left leg is up straight, my right leg is parallel with the ground at the bottom of the movement. Down and up we go. And again, purpose. Tighten the stomach up like someone was gonna walk over it. Because chances are, if there's a toddler in your room, they've already tried it. So tighten that stomach up. Even if it's not a toddler, even if it's a preteen Amelia Joyce Walsh, I'm sure she's thought about it. Time. Up to standing. Hinge at the hips. Bent over. Rows. Set number 2. Let's go. "12 to 15 reps. If 12 is feeling good for you, that's fine. Down onto our backs. Skull crushers. If using 2 dumbbells is too tough, you could always use 1 dumbbell and turn it the wide way. Either way, we are back to it. Hinge and extend. 12 reps should be plenty on this one for me at least. But 15, if you're still feeling strong at this point, good for you. And keep practicing that positive self-talk. What we focus on grows. So if we start to focus on the negative, what am I doing here? Why am I wasting my time? I should be on the couch. Then that will grow. But if we start to focus on the good, I'm glad that I'm here. Flutter kicks a little bit faster this time. Let's go. 90 degrees between them still. Purpose of that movement is a tightening of that stomach. If we focus on that positivity, that will grow. Good for me for showing up. Good for you for showing up. Good for us for showing up. Up to standing. Last time through it. Bent over rows. 12 reps. Get there safely and start when you're there. Driving those elbows straight up and down. Weights come down onto our backs. Last minute of this circuit comes by way of those skull crushers first. 12 reps. Let's finish it up. We picked that pace up on those flutter kicks last time. Now I want to go super slow. Come with me here. Left leg up, right leg out. Slow switch. My right leg is up, my left leg is out. Slow switch. As soon as they're at the top and the bottom, they start that transition back. But it's a torturous pace here. Stomach is tight the whole time. Slow as we can go for 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now 10 nice and quick reps. 1, 2, all together now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time. Drinking that water up. Earning that recovery between circuits. We're at the tail end of this workout now. Earning our way there. We got 8 minutes of work left. Circuit number 3 is looking to target the shoulders, the core once again, but also the legs. So shoulders, legs, and core. Shoulders coming by way of our strict shoulder press. Trying not to help with the legs at all. Split stance, palms facing forward. Ready. We press these weights up, staying over the shoulders at all time. 3, 2, 1. 12 reps. Down and up we go. On 12, you can let down one dumbbell. The other dumbbell is going to come right to this prayer position here. Sumo squats. We introduced them on Monday. Coming back to them again today. Wide feet, heels a little bit closer together, toes pointing out. Upper body stays upright. Down and up we go. Engaging those glutes throughout the entirety of this movement. On 12, let those weights down. Out of the way, because we are coming down to a forward forearm plank. Forward forearm plank. Sticking and holding that plank for 30 full seconds. Let's get there now. Remember the description of that high plank earlier. Flat as a board, stiff as a board. Same goes for this one here. Think about those hips not being too high, but not collapsing down too low. Think about that tightening up of the stomach. Think about engaging the glutes. The more you think about that stuff, the quicker the time goes by. 30 seconds already. Drop to the knees. Up to standing. Shoulder press. Set number 2, 3, 2, 1. 12 reps. Let's go. When those shoulder presses become too tough, you could always go to a single dumbbell for that as well. But now we're ready for that single dumbbell hold of that sumo squat. 3, 2, 1, we're squatting. Breathing is controlled. That form is focused. 12 reps is what we're looking for. On that 12th rep, those dumbbells are out of the way. Forearm plank. We got babies crying. We got dogs barking. Tail end of this workout. My dogs are barking. Forearm plank. Let's hold it. In this forearm plank, let's try to crunch my right knee up to my right elbow. Then my left knee up to my left elbow. Let's do it for 10 reps. That's 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Up to standing. Shoulder press. Set number 3 in 3, 2, 1. 12 reps. Let's go. $11, $12 shoulder presses, 12 sumo squats. Ready, set, let's get them done. On that 12th rep, down to that forearm plank and right into that knee crunch. 30 seconds of it. Looking for 12 reps of that knee crunch to that same side elbow. On 12, land down to those knees. Drink some water up. Knock some good intentions into yourself. We are just about done with this workout, but we earned our way to a crazy complex of a cool down now. So far, we've gotten chest, back, thighs, tris, shoulders, core, leg strength. We're gonna try for all the above in our last complex. The first complex is gonna be all push and pull, all chest and back and core. Out of the way, Gussie. All right, ready? Coming down, my dumbbells are under my hands in a high plank. Now, regardless of whether you do your push-ups in a high plank, your push-ups from your feet or your knees, I want you to be in your high plank to start this movement. The way I want to see it is left arm row, right arm row, 1 push-up. Then right arm row, left arm row, 1 push-up. I'm already going, so I want you joining me. If you haven't started yet, you get started now. It's row, row, push-up, row, row, push-up. Back and forth we go. Time, up to standing. Biceps, shoulders, tricep, all in one complex movement. Split stance, hammer grip of our dumbbells, or a single dumbbell if you want. Elbows tucked in. It looks like this. Don't start until my second rep. Curl, shoulder press, overhead extension. Now, if your weights are too heavy, go to that single dumbbell right out of the gate. But either way, we start in 2, 1. Let's go. Curl, press, extension. Come back down through the center of that movement and then start it all over again. Biceps, start us off. Shoulders, throw those weights up. Triceps, come into that overhead extension. Come on now, let's go. We are giving the legs a little bit of a break in these last complexes, but the core is engaged in that first movement that we're doing. But we're gonna look for a little bit more core out of this last one. That's good. Coming down onto those dumbbells. Same as that last routine, except we mix in a knee crunch to the same side elbow as well. So again, watch my first rep, join me after it. Ready? We go row, row, knee crunch, push up. Then start it all over again. This is where you start. Row, row, crunch, crunch, push up. Now you could mix and match anything that you need to do here. So if the push up is too much, skip it. If the row is too much, skip it. If the knee crunch is too much, skip it, but do at least one, if not 2 out of the 3 movements, and keep it going. Tail end of this workout. Finishing it up strong. Time up to standing. Our last 30 seconds of this workout comes by way of that arm circuit. Curl, press, extension. 3, 2, 1, let's do it. Finishing strong here. Again, that positive self-talk, that attitude of gratitude is one that we've been searching for since the first minute of this workout. It's easy to do when you're laying flat on your back, stretching out. It was tough to do at times during this workout, but at the end, which is where we made it just now, it's easy to get back to it. Let those weights down. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a pat on the back. And then next time you're thinking about skipping a workout, give yourself that kick in the butt to get back here and join us, all right? Great job, guys. Let me know how it was in the email or anything like that afterwards. And tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what we should change. And it's great having you on here, guys.
Woo, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Missed you, Thomas. Awesome.
Got it. We're back.